By Intuit TurboTax. Downtown Oklahoma City skyline, and in about 25 minutes south, day 2 of the NCAA Women's Championship. It gets started inside the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman. The 11 seed Murray State Racers, the MVC champs, take on the 6-seeded Iowa Hawkeyes to get day 2 of the round of 64 started. Couple of high-scoring teams going head-to-head here, Iowa and Murray State. Remember, the winner of this one will face Oklahoma or Florida Gulf Coast on Monday. And we're glad you're with us in Norman. Great action yesterday. We begin day 2 in Norman. That is Kim Adams, the former Penn Quaker. Kevin Fitzgerald with you. So this Iowa program captivated the attention of the nation for years. Back-to-back national championship games. But for the first time in several years, they begin a postseason run in the AC era. No Caitlin Clark anymore. 22 wins this season for the Hawkeyes in the revamped Big Ten. In a lot of ways, a successful year for this iteration of Hawkeyes basketball.
Yeah, without a doubt. I loved what head coach Jan Jensen told us yesterday. She said, we took the rear view mirrors out of the car. This was a forward-looking team all season long. Took a little while to get the engine heated up, but they really surged at the end of the regular season, winning 8 of their last 10 before heading into the postseason.
Yeah, they earned that 6th seed according to Janet. So when you replace the engine that was Caitlin Clark, you got to replace the production. Who has been that star offensively for the Hawkeyes this year?
Yeah, they brought in an electric guard in Lucy Olson, the senior point guard transferring in from Villanova. Leads this Hawkeyes team in points and assists, about 18 and 5 there. And she's really elevated her play in the last couple of months. She's making almost about 3 threes per game in her last 9. And then on the Murray State side, we have an elite scorer that has really flown under the radar in Caitlin Young, the 5th-year player, surpassed 3,000 career points in her last game. That is 15th all-time in NCAA Division I basketball. She is coming off of back-to-back 30-plus point games in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament.
She's just been on a rampage. Her final go in her final season. They break through and reach the NCAA tournament. Ready to go in Norman. Gina Cross, Kristen Bell, Nick Marshall are 3 officials. Iowa in the white and Murray State in the navy. It was largely chalk yesterday in day 1 of the round of 64. So what will happen today as we will continue to play out the first round? Sydney Afalter, very good outside shooter on the attack, misses close range, and so Murray State on the push here into the front court. This is Iowa's starting 5, brought to you by Capital One. You mentioned Olson leads the way, scores 18 a game. Afalter, though, the aforementioned shooter, has been very good down the stretch. And Caitlin Young earns herself a trip to the free throw line on the opening possession here for the Racers.
Yeah, Caitlin Young, one of the things she does best is move without the basketball. She really likes to get it around that elbow area, but on this opening possession, coming off of a back screen and a little undersized against Stolke, but able to get the offensive rebound and draw the foul.
The bona fide bucket getter from Oakwood, Illinois. An astounding 5-time first-team all-conference selection. She scored more than 3,000 points, and as you mentioned before, she could be passing perhaps a number of legends in the game today on that all-time scoring list. Olson offline on the first look, and so after the 2 missed free throws for Young at the line, Murray State trying to get on the board first. So this is their starting 5, brought to you by Capital One. Young goes for more than 22 a game. Allie Polk, by the way, number 1 in the Navy, Iowa native, has had a fine season as well, and Murray State on the board first.
And Caitlin Young just so smart positionally. Again, she's giving up a little size to Stolke as Olson gets a free lane to the rim. But Caitlin Young able to get that steal on the backside to get the first 2 for Murray State.
First ever meeting, by the way, between these 2 programs. They were 2 prolific, high-scoring offenses in the regular season. Matter of fact, no team in the nation scored more than Murray State did per game on a nightly basis. Young trying to get it back to the guard here. Polk draws the foul, and that's the first on Iowa.
And here's the young lady we talked about, Caitlin Young. More than 3,000 career points, getting the seal, and then Lucy Olsen, they try to chase over the top.
And so, by the way, Kim, that's 2 very quick fouls on the veteran from Cedar Rapids, Hannah Stolke, who's been so critical to those 2 trips to the national championship game each of the last 2 years. So she sits down about 2 minutes into this one.
Yeah,
Young trying to go to work on the freshman. Young with the left hand got it back. Finds an open teammate. Murray State is ahead.
The second foul on Stolke just wasn't a smart one. It was out on the perimeter, just a reach-in foul on the guard. You have to be smarter. The good thing for Iowa is the freshman who's now in the game, Ava Heiden. She's coming off of probably her best 2 games of the season in the Big Ten tournament. So she's feeling confident as we look back at Young, who has just really done everything to start this game. She's scored all 4 points, or she's scored 2 points. She's got the assist there.
Olsen wants 3. Rebound down to Ava Learn, who scored that latest basket for Murray State. There's Polk, draws another foul. And so Murray State has done a good job of drawing some early fouls here on Iowa. That's the first Kylie Fierbach. Murray State, the undisputed MVC champs, won the regular season and tournament titles. Their breakthrough season in a lot of ways, just the second ever NCAA tournament. There's the freshman Heiden, was looking to score it with the left after the turnover. What do you expect pace-wise in this game with these 2?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because Murray State leads the country in scoring, but they don't play at a blistering pace as Hallie Polk, the sophomore, gets an elbow jumper to go. But they're just so efficient in their shooting. They really take a ton of threes, second in the country at making 10 threes.
Look at Olsen, by the way, going to work. She's got 4.
Yeah, Iowa going to look to push it in transition as well, especially with Lucy Olsen at the helm. Great vision, ability to get it up to her teammates.
Polk wants 3, misfires, controlled by Heiden. And so this is the matchup. How does Murray State handle Olsen? Finds a cutter. That is a vicious rejection by Learn. Heiden was in the right spot. Boy, what a rejection that time from Murray State. Polk from the wing, offline, and that's a falter with the board. Sydney, a falter, just a blow by that time, and the defensive miscue allows Iowa to pull in front.
Yeah, this is becoming an issue early for Murray State. That's 2 or 3 complete blow-bys now by Olsen, by a falter. They're chasing over the top of screens. They have to have help ready to meet on the other side.
Murray State has won 10 in a row, facing some pretty elite athleticism and physicality, though, for the first time in a little while. A dream season in a lot of ways for these racers. There's a turnover, and Iowa on the move. There's a foul inside. There's Rochelle Turner. 8 years ago, accepted the head job at Murray State to try to reinvigorate the program. And the last couple of seasons, she and the staff have turned it around. This year, 25 wins, a school record. They finally break through again and get back to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, this is a cool moment for Coach Turner. She had previously been a high school coach at the local high school in Murray, Kentucky for 21 seasons.
Had such great success there. Right down the road, and another foul back-to-back here on Murray State. That's the first on Ford.
And this is where players have to adjust to the game quickly because we're less than 5 minutes in and we've had 5 fouls called in total already, a lot of hand checks. Players have to slide their feet, keep their hands off. That could have been a foul too.
Yeah, Fierbach all the way to the rim. And so Iowa, after falling behind very quickly, they're on the 8-0 run. Another really strong year for the Hawkeyes. His first season in the AC after Caitlin Clark era. Hayden, the freshman, has got a couple of buckets.
Really pretty creation and dime from Lucy Olsen. And we mentioned the freshman, Ava Hayden, coming off of back-to-back double-digit scoring games in the Big Ten tournament. She really saw her minutes expand there.
Ford steps into the three, can't knock it down. And Murray State has missed 2 from deep. Hayden running the floor, got it, and the foul. Pick it up right where she left off a couple of weeks ago in Indy.
This was an Iowa Hawkeyes team that really surged at the end of the regular season. They are out and running the freshman, Ava Hayden.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And the first round is presented by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is taxes. Iowa lived on the big stage for years. Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeyes, they captivated the nation. Of course, reaching back-to-back title games. Came up just short against South Carolina and LSU each the last 2 years. In a lot of ways, the offseason was a transitional time. Clark to the WNBA. The longtime head coach Lisa Bluter retires. And so Jan Jensen, been with the program so long, takes over. She was very candid about this season with the weight of the world and those heightened expectations from the last couple of years. This team really achieved a lot, played good basketball, especially down the stretch.
Yeah, Jan Jensen had been alongside Lisa Bluter for decades. So while some has changed, a lot remained the same culturally and what they're looking to do. And this is a team that at one point had lost 5 Big Ten games in a row, just completely uncharted territory. And as we mentioned, they have flipped the switch.
In this game, they are on a 13-0 run. Most of their points, all of them rather, at the inside the paint. This is Kylie Fierbach who got it back. Second opportunity on this position. Could not finish at the rim.
And a lot of those points in the paint have come from the freshman, Ava Hayden. She already has 8 points, and there was some alarm when Hannah Stolke picked up her second foul less than 2 minutes into the game.
That's a difficult finish, by the way, by Polk. 17-point-per-game scorer for the Waterloo, Iowa native. After the miss, Murray State coming back the other way. Well, you're right on. Hayden picking up right where she left off the Big Ten tournament a couple of weeks ago, was very effective and has been an X factor off the bench for Iowa. The Racers, they've had some longer half-court offensive possessions. Caitlin Young has taken just 2 shots. She's got the 2 points. Late shot clock here for Polk. Has to hoist. That's a deep 3. Not close. Ball back to the Hawkeyes. Good defense.
Yeah, this is an Iowa-centric, guard-centric team, and Iowa's doing a really nice job of keeping them out on the perimeter.
Kim, we are in the bottom left corner of that Spokane 4 regional. Winner of this one faces Oklahoma, who is a host once again. They earned the 3 seed. And Florida Gulf Coast, that one coming up when we are finished with this one. Number 1 seed in this regional, Southern Cal, Juju Watkins, and then you got Paige Beckers and the Huskies as the 2 seed. So good luck fighting your way to Tampa. By the way, that's a offensive foul on Iowa, so ball back to the Racers.
Yeah, this is an exciting sight. I'm looking forward to game 2. Those 2 teams actually met last year in the first round. We have the highest scoring pod. We've got a lot of bucket getters here in Norman.
Yeah, everybody scored more than 80 a game, it feels like. This is Learn underneath. That time Stremlo went straight up. Last touch by the Hawkeyes, so it will stay here. Yesterday, pretty chalky. We had a 10 over a 7. That was really the only higher seed, if you want to call it that, that defeats a lower seeded team if we take out the 8-9 matchups.
Yeah, that was Oregon over Vanderbilt, the 10-7. So not sure how big of an upset that was.
Right.
Richmond had a big win over Georgia Tech in the 8-9. And Kentucky almost fell.
Look at the turnovers, by the way, Kim. So 5 now for Murray State. Iowa went on that 12-0 run after falling behind in the early minutes. So it has got a good grip on this one. 7-point edge in our first round of 64 game today. Stremlo wants 3. Hayden controls it. You've got several of the really talented freshmen on the floor now. Guyton is one of them for the Hawkeyes. Got blocked from behind, and then a tie-up. Murray State will take it.
Yeah, Jan Jensen going with 3 freshmen right now.
Well, this prolific Murray State team, you mentioned, they averaged nearly 88 points per game. Scored 96, by the way, in their MVC semifinal win against Drake. They are a hot team coming into this tournament, winners of 10 in a row, and they knocked out some of the best teams in the MVC down the stretch. Drake, one of them. That should stay here.
Right now, turnovers are the main issue for Murray State because they can't even get into their offense. That's now 5 turnovers. They
do say that one was last touched by the Racers. Caitlin Young has only taken 2 shots. That's it. Olsen on the fall away. Rebound to Learn. Lead feed up ahead to Haven Ford. Ford accelerates and scores it.
I like that take from Ford because right now Murray State is having trouble getting within the front line of that Iowa defense. So Ford just pushes in transition. She's one of the quickest players for the Racers.
Don't leave Stremlo open. The freshman from Wisconsin knocks it down. Iowa by 8, first quarter. First round action in Norman. Here's Young, 31 in the Navy. Looking for Ford. Iowa cuts her off. Young can stretch it, but Murray State remains cold from beyond the arc. They're 0 of 5. 22 wins for Iowa this year. Top half finish in the revamped Big Ten. And a win against Southern Cal. The late goings of the season really sparked them. Oh, nice give and go or pick and roll. Hayden could not finish with the left. This is the senior Trinity White backing it out. Starts to create herself. 8 to shoot. This is Young off the bounce. Kick it back out to Polk for 3. This is Learn. Another offensive board. And Ava Learn has got 4. The most improved player in the MVC with 1 second here on the timer. That one's offline. And Iowa takes the 18-12 lead after the first quarter. Round of 64 action in Norman, just down the road from downtown Oklahoma City. Welcome back to the NCAA Women's Championship. It's presented by Capital One. After 1 quarter, Iowa with the 18-12 lead, and they dominated inside the paint.
Yeah, this Hawkeyes team has been on the attack. 14 of their first 18 have come in the paint. Lucy Olsen got things going, coming hard off of screens, and then they have forced 6 turnovers on the defensive end, and the 6'4" freshman Ava Hayden can really run rim to rim. Lucy Olsen on the lob up. She already has 3 assists. And how about the freshman coming in when Hannah Stolke got into foul trouble, and she already has 9 points in this game. She averages less than 5 on the season.
Super impactful in that opening quarter. This is our game track brought to you by Invesco QQQ. And so just about all of their points, as you've alluded to there, in the paint. You know, Hayden, Coach Jensen said, watch her run the floor. And that has been abundantly clear. And so remaining on the bench in the second quarter, as you would expect, Hannah Stolke, that is the junior veteran, such a critical piece to those back-to-back title game appearances, picked up the 2 fouls, as you mentioned, just a couple minutes into the game. And so Murray State needs to respond. They have turned it over far too often here in the first half. Layup at the rim, it rolls off. And now Ford has her eyes up. Iowa gets back, good transition defense. Ford, baseline drive, carves out some space, and so Haven Ford with another.
Yeah, we've seen Ford do that a couple times now. When the offense has struggled, she's been able to get her own in transition.
Ford from right down the road, Moorhead, Kentucky. Turned in an all-conference season. The sophomore did, averaged 15 a game. Olsen on the attack. Drive and kick. Streblo checks the feet and knocks it down. Another.
And that's a beautiful possession that started with the patience of Hayden in the post. She kicked opposite to Olsen, who got herself into the paint, made another extra pass, and the other freshman, Stremlo, knocking it down. How about these young Hawkeyes?
Iowa's got a lot of capable outside shooters. Stremlo is turning into one in front of our eyes. He rarely has taken threes this year, and she's got 2 this opening half. So Iowa's got a firm grip on this one. That's an offensive foul, and that's the first on Olsen.
And this was just a beautiful sequence. Hayden turns and kicks opposite. Lucy Olsen, fundamental, playing off from 2 feet. Kicks it out to Taylor Stremlo, who only averages 2 points per game on the season. As you mentioned, she's knocked down 2 triples. Scoring from unlikely sources.
The offense has been more consistent last month and a half of the season. Why? What has led to that?
It's really started with the 2 guards, Lucy Olsen and Sydney Falter, and they've really gotten going from 3 as well. And I just think all of the pieces have really come together well with integrating Olsen in at the point guard spot.
Hayden, another screen and roll. So she has dominated inside, and she's already tied her season high 11 in the first half.
She's just been so fundamental. Her and Olsen have worked really well together on the connection, screen and rolls, finding each other. She's got a size advantage inside.
Briley Pena fires and connects. That's a good 3-point shooter off the bench for Murray State, and they needed that one. Their first triple goes down. 6-point game.
Yeah, this is a Murray State team, 2nd in the country. They make about 10 per game. Ooh,
boy,
that's easy.
That is a deep post catch. And Hayden is just on a rampage right now with 13 of Iowa's 25.
The happiest person is Lucy Olsen. She has a huge grin on her face right now. Like, let me just get my freshman the ball every time down the floor. That time, Hayden had the mismatch severely on that last bucket. That was like a little Tykes hoop.
Yeah. And Hayden now,
wow.
A step through.
She's putting on a clinic.
Can't miss. It's a 15-point first half for Hayden. Iowa 27-17 advantage. Young's got the ball here. It's been a bit of a struggle offensively for Young. She earns another trip to the free throw line. And we'll try to get her team to inch a bit closer here. For the 5th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. And remember, for more info on the tournament, you can go to NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. March Madness, it is back upon us here. Again, pretty chalky first day yesterday. Round of 64 continues today. And the second round, Sunday to Monday, as every team has got the dream to march all the way to Tampa. Young, by the way, after missing a pair previously, gets that one to go. The MVC tournament MVP, like you said before, the back-to-back 30-point games last week. That time Addison O'Grady could not get it to go, so Young with some nice defense in the paint.
And this time of year is why I love a player like Caitlin Young, because we don't get to hear a lot about her. She's a top 15 scorer in NCAA Division I history, and she's getting her time on the big stage today.
So prolific. So with these 4 points, she's going to start passing some legends, by the way, today. O'Grady with good position. That's Young with the rebound. Inside of 6 minutes here, second quarter. Iowa has had a pretty sizable lead for much of it. This Hawkeyes program that has been at the mountaintop of the sport for several years. They come into this tournament as a 6 seed, and they start a March run away from home for the first time in a couple of years. After the miss, we got a tie-up. Ball back to the Racers. So Young, Kim, she's got 4. And so with the 4 points, she passes one of the all-time greats. This is the D1 all-time scoring list. And look who is in her sights. She could possibly pass a couple others like Elena Deladon and Maya Moore today if she gets going.
I mean, that entire list is just insane legends of the game. And like I said, that's why I love this time of year, because I'm sure there's a lot of people tuning in right now that have never heard of Caitlin Young. How about this, Kevin? They have already retired her jersey. They surprised her with it on senior day. Her jersey is already up in the rafters. Her career hasn't even come to a close yet.
Yeah. Took Caitlin Clark a year, by the way, to get the jersey retired. That 3 is down. And another one from Briley Pena. So the junior from Jonesboro, Arkansas, very capable outside shooter, has got Murray State back within 5. Another whistle, by the way, on this side of the floor. That is the first on Ava Learn. So Olsen inbounds. Olsen, little give and go. Lucy Olsen now with 6.
She's so crafty. She inbounded it. She ran up the middle of the lane, came off the screen, gave it up, got it back, ran off of the same screen, going down. She moves so well without the ball.
Got the 6 assists now as well. Learn with the answer on this end. That's 6 for the senior, Ava Learn. Murray State has tightened this one up just a bit here in the second. A Fulter trying to take Pena off the bounce. Cut off, and now back out to Guyton. Guyton with the left-hand dribble, falls, and it's a traveling violation. Ball back to the Racers with 4:15 to go in the second. It's Murray State and Iowa. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. And it's also brought to you by Nike. You can't win, so win. Back in Norman, Oklahoma, round of 64 action is just underway. Day 2 of the Women's Championship, Iowa by 5. Ava Hayden, the freshman from Sherwood, Oregon, has been a matchup problem for the Racers today.
Yeah, Hayden came into the game early when Hannah Stolke got foul trouble, and she has just been assertive. She's been fundamental. She's kept things simple. The screen and roll action between her and Olsen has been automatic. And look at that footwork there. She's been patient. She's been fundamental. Ava Hayden, 13 points on an efficient 6 of 8 shooting, 5 rebounds as well, as Hannah Stolke still looks on. She picked up 2 fouls less than 2 minutes into this game.
Stolke, the 2-year starter, all-conference veteran. Boy, that is great insurance and protection. You bring Hayden, who, remember, was a very highly rated recruit. Ford to the basket, draws the foul. And so Haven Ford is at the line for the first time this afternoon. That vaunted freshman class for Iowa. Remember, they had to grow up as this year has played out, blending with a player like Olsen, who just picked up her 2nd foul, and some of the many returners off of that team that won a school record 34 games a season ago. Jan Jensen, I think she said it best yesterday, we've got more consistent. We were like a fine wine. We were going to get better with age. We had to blend together. So they have only gotten better as this year has played out. Meanwhile, Murray State has got it back to a 3-point game.
Yeah, Murray State has settled in really nicely defensively, offensively, but Olsen still having her way on that end. But Murray State, I think they've gotten a little bit more rhythm offensively. They're moving a little bit more. Let's see if they could get Caitlin Young some more touches. She's been pretty quiet outside of those opening minutes.
Oh, Learn seals off her defender nicely. Blew the layup, got it back. That's a missed opportunity there for Murray State. Learn thought there was contact. And Iowa back into the front court. Olsen off the screen. Lucy Olsen on the pull-up.
Murray State has not adjusted to how they're defending Lucy Olsen on the ball screen. They're sending her defender chasing over the top of the screen, and they're playing in drop coverage. Lucy Olsen is as good of a mid-range shooter as there is in the country. Yeah. And right now she's just pulling up and dropping those jumpers.
Yeah, they're going to get poked there for the offensive foul. Pushed off with the right. Iowa now seizes momentum back. They got the ball, too.
And here's Lucy Olsen, who's just been so fundamental, pump fake, drives. And then this is the one where they're chasing over the top of the screen, but Young is just sagging back in the paint. Young has to step up and meet Lucy Olsen because she will drain mid-range jumpers all day like she's shooting in the driveway.
Yeah, she's too quick, too skilled. So Murray State must make the adjustment. Iowa shooting 46% from the floor on this side. Again, a lot of high percentage looks at the rim. They whistle Hayden there for the loose ball foul. And so that is her second. So that's 2 on Hayden, 2 on Stolke.
2 on Olsen, who Jan Jensen has left Olsen in the game. Looks like she's going to send a sub up for Hayden. Hopefully she doesn't pick up her third here on this possession.
Yeah, it's
I would take it right to her.
Yep, Addison O'Grady at the scores table. Young barging in.
Ooh, yep,
and
there it is.
She does draw the foul. It's a great pump fake. Third foul on Hayden. Good call, partner. So remember, coming up at the half, we've got our Degree halftime show. El Duncan, Shania Gumake, Andrea Carter, they're going to preview that UConn-Arkansas State game. It is the Degree in the studio coming up. Round of 64 action just getting started this afternoon.
Caitlin Young staying aggressive. She just 1 of 6 from the floor, but that was a smart take from her. Getting Hayden to pick up that third foul.
Olsen puts it in. There's another.
Yeah, Lucy Olsen is just so skilled. She's really worked to diversify her offense. She's been living in the mid-range in this game.
She's got 12. Poke for 3. That's strong. Iowa back down the floor. 4-on-4 sequence. Olsen, the Euro step, offensive foul. Boy, Pena has had a really fine impact in this game coming off the bench.
And before we look at that one, here's another bucket from Lucy Olsen, who, again, just plays the game off of 2 feet. But this time, Murray State, Briley Pena predicted this one well, setting up for that charge. And that is Olsen's third foul.
You got 2 starters, and then Hayden, who has been the most effective post player in this game. All with 2 or more fouls. And there's the second on Kylie Fierbach. So Murray State in the bonus. They're going to go shoot some free throws here. The fouls piling up now in this second quarter.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Jan Jensen took a gamble on both Hayden and Olsen, leaving them in the game with 2. And Olsen, I could see she's a player you trust. She probably should have known a little bit better on that Euro step right into the defender. But certainly mounting foul trouble right now for the Hawkeyes.
There they are, that duo, Hayden and Olsen again, have been whistled for 3 fouls. So here is Hallie Polk, by the way, at the line. Obvious all-conference selection for Murray State this year. She's from Waterloo, Iowa, so very familiar with several players on that Iowa side. And after she hits the free throws, it's a 5-point game.
Yeah, interesting 90 seconds here to see if Murray State can capitalize on a couple of key Iowa Hawkeyes, including the point guard being on the bench here. Can they close into this lead?
Here's McCabe, 4-3.
There's one player on the Iowa scouting report you cannot leave open from 3. It's Taylor McCabe. That's really all she does out there.
Haven Ford blocked, and Iowa recovers. Iowa on the move. This 8-point advantage, its largest of the first half. It has been in front just about every moment. McCabe, bounce it down. This is O'Grady. Looking, no cutter available. Stremlo from 15, got it.
And these are all important buckets for Iowa, with 2 starters on the bench, with Hayden, who's been their best scorer. Different players keeping this offense afloat.
It's an 8-point first half for Stremlo, not known as a scorer off the bench. 10-point lead. 20 seconds in the half. This is White, checks the timer. Dribble drive, Pope wants the 3, offline. And so one last sequence here for Iowa with the 10-point lead, 8 to play. Here's Guyton. Guyton with the crossover, the step back, puts it up and puts it in. Iowa takes a 12-point lead to the break, its largest of the first half.
This Iowa team has got a lot of production from their freshmen. Lucy Olson as well. She's up to 12. Ava Hayden has 13.
Great half for the Hawkeyes. They shoot 49% from the floor. Time for Degree in the studio. Let's go to L. Back inside Lloyd Noble Center, Norman, Oklahoma. The 6-seeded Iowa Hawkeyes have the 12-point advantage over Murray State, the 11-seed and MVC champs. Welcome back inside. That's Kim Adams, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. So the 12-point advantage for Iowa, their largest of the first half. They closed that thing out on a 7-0 run. What was their advantage in the first half?
Well, Iowa got a ton of their points in the paint. They were on the attack, and then I thought they started off the game really well defensively. Murray State was able to come back. As we look at the 2 who led the way, it was the rookie and the vet. We're starting with the vet, Lucy Olson. She has 12 points. She's really gotten everything off of the bounce, reading the screen coverage, backdoor cuts. Olson also has 6 assists to go with the 12 points. A lot of assists have come to the freshman, Ava Hayden, who had a remarkable opening 20 minutes. She's leading all scorers with 13 points. The 6'4" freshman has been so fundamental, establishing position, the footwork right around Caitlin Young. Ava Hayden, an efficient 6 for 9, 6 rebounds as well for the freshman who played huge minutes in that first half.
She picks up right where she left off a couple of weeks ago in Indianapolis. Was vital to Iowa winning a couple of games, gaining a little further momentum. That was our Wendy's fueling the run. And so the 12-point cushion for Iowa, its largest of the game. 20 minutes down, 20 to go. There's Caitlin Young, the Murray State superstar, had the 6 points in the first half, 1 of 6 from the floor. How can she get cooking?
Yeah, I thought in the opening couple minutes she moved really well without the ball. They ran her off of some back screens. She got some seals, and then the offense got a little stagnant. So I'd like to see this Murray State team get that ball popping around a little bit more. They're just 2 of 11 from 3. They average about 10 per game. So let's see how they come out offensively.
Yeah, it's been difficult to find close or clean looks, rather. Even right there, you saw Feuerbach all over Hallie Polk. That is Iowa's most trusted defender. So Young's going to have to create herself, barging right into Hannah Stolke. The veteran is back on the floor, and Iowa is going to keep it here. Remember, the junior from Cedar Rapids, vital to those 2 runs to the title game each of the last 2 seasons, picked up 2 fouls early, and that's Caitlin Young. Very much in some discomfort right now on the baseline after going for that loose basketball. Greg Jocelyn, he's the athletic trainer for Murray State.
hate to see this moment right now. Caitlin Young has meant everything to this Murray State program in her 5th season, came back for an opportunity just like this one.
Program's all-time leading scorer, the 5th-year senior from Oakwood, Illinois, who Rochelle Turner, you just saw a moment ago, called just a high-character human. Quintessential teammate, hardest worker. And so the athletic trainer was working, it looked like the left foot. So she is getting helped off to her bench right now. The superstar, Caitlin Young. And so Rochelle Turner's team, they must fight on. Down 12, best player on the bench. It does look like they're working on the left foot. Meanwhile, Iowa back on this side of the floor. McCabe bounce it down to Stolke. Great position. Learn goes straight up, affects that shot. That's a foul, though, on Learn.
Hannah Stolke was ready to get going. Played less than 2 minutes of the first half. We've seen her impact possessions on both ends of the floor so far. Really aggressive, posting up, demanding for that ball on this end.
Stolke getting it right back. Stolke goes up with the right. Count it! And the foul. Her first basket of the afternoon gives Iowa its largest lead.
And she did again what we had just been talking about, posting up, getting big, getting Learn on her back, and then Iowa playing with really great spacing that allows Hannah Stolke to put the ball on the floor and attack that right side.
As expected, they have dominated in the paint. Boy, after the miss, Fierbach, 4-3. It's a 5-point sequence, and Iowa has firmly seized control in this one early in the third. Where's the response come from for Murray State? Caitlin Young still on the bench.
I think they got to get one of their guards to knock down a big three, but as you can see, some frustration. The ball is just kind of being bounced around. No passes on that possession. They got to get that ball moving around and inside and out.
So Iowa in a groove right now. Give and go. Yes. Cynthia Falter. Timeout Murray State. It's a 19-point cushion for the Hawkeyes. Largest lead in this first round battle in Norman. Iowa, Kim, on an extended 14-0 run.
Yeah, they have come out on a blitz to start the second half. Hannah Stolke was anxious to get back out there. Great position. Lucy Olsen with a cross-court pass for her 8th assist over to Kylie Fierbach. And then a little give-and-go action. Cynthia Falter just getting by the shoulder of her defender. There are just really so many offensive weapons for this Hawkeyes team, especially when we consider their leading scorer is still on the bench. Ava Hayden, the reserve, is leading them at this point with 13 points.
So Iowa, by the way, now has more points in the paint than Murray State has total points. And Iowa nearly perfect when Lucy Olsen is dishing some dimes.
Love that advanced stats there, advanced metrics.
Yeah.
Lucy Olsen has just had a really solid feel and read for this game. She's been patient. She's been getting to the middle of the paint, coming to jump stops, and her teammates have been ready to shoot it and knocking them down, as that graphic shows.
She has got 8 assists. And the latest development in this game is Caitlin Young still off the floor for Murray State, dealing with what looked like a left foot injury. She's trying to walk it off after the takeaway. This is Fierbach. Oh, look who's wide open. Stolke.
And just frustrating for Murray State. Caught sleeping there. Hannah Stolke Just like a layup drill, nobody around her. 9-0 start to the half for Iowa.
Yep. It was 35-30 late in that second quarter. And it has been all Iowa since. Haven Ford draws the foul. And so she'll be at the line.
Iowa foul number 2.
Coverage of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship. It continues on CBS, TNT, TBS, and True TV. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. Round of 32 begins on the men's side today. Again, a men's and women's tournaments that have been devoid of, I suppose, really eye-popping upsets, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, it seems I haven't been able to watch many games because we've been getting ready for these ones, but seems not too much excitement yet on the men's side.
Boy, that is just precision. That's how you break the pressure. And the lead back to 21.
And who was it on the assist?
Yeah.
Lucy Olsen is 1 assist away from a double-double here early in the third quarter. 9 assists to go along with 12 points.
Iowa firmly in control. Stolke, couple of dribbles, and so there it is. She's got the double-double. Stolke, very active in the early goings of the third, had to sit for all but 2 first half minutes.
It doesn't matter who it's been. The Iowa post players have dominated this game.
Trinity White tracks down the offensive board there for Murray State. And they sink deeper into the hole again with Caitlin Young getting worked on by the training staff right around the team bench. Lead feed to a falter.
And this is where Murray State needs to come together a little bit and find some toughness on the defensive end, because right now they are just allowing Iowa to run free and get layup after layup.
There's a foul on the way in.
Hannah Stolke has just kept things simple. Murray State has played her one-on-one with a defender on the back. Ava Learn just kind of stops and lets her go, and then defense to offense. Lucy Olsen, middle of the floor, eyes up. Cynthia Falter just outrunning all of the Murray State racers. There has to be more passion and focus on the defensive end right now for the racers.
That is a difficult image for Murray State. By the way, her parents were consoling her just a moment ago. That's Connie and Dave. They come to every game. And again, the athletic training staff was working on that left foot. She was walking, trying to put some pressure on it near the bench, and she's on the crutches now going back to the locker room.
Yeah, it's such a tough scene because she is what this tournament is all about. Yep. And was so excited to get her opportunity. We hate to see her, wishing her the best right now.
Murray State needs some sort of a spark. Learn on the way in, draws the foul. That's on a falter. Ava Learn to the line.
Iowa foul number 3, Cindy Falter, her first personal.
And it's not just the scoring prowess, it's the attention that Young is going to soak up. 6'1", a really good size, physicality post player. And we just showed it to you a moment ago. More than 3,000 points in her 5-year career. And so Rochelle Turner, you would think, at least for the foreseeable future here, is going to be without Young back in the locker room right now and on the crutches. Iowa is running. They have gotten it going here in transition. A falter connects.
And this Iowa team just continues to be incredibly unselfish. The teammates are happy for each other. They're smiling when someone gets a bucket. They're sharing the ball, making the extra pass, finding high percentage looks.
3 from the corner. That's offline. Jada Cook could not connect. Olsen on the move. There's Stolke. Yes. Iowa is pouring it on right now. Timeout. Murray State needs a minute. They've hit their last 9 shots. Iowa up 28 in Norman.
NCAA women's tournament history that 2 teams are rematching in the first round. So really interesting dynamics. The Eagles looking on. They are 30-3 on the season. That 14 seed seems a bit disrespectful considering they've won 3 NCAA tournament games as a 12 seed, but Chelsea Lyles said no need to get upset over it. We're here.
Chelsea Lyles, by the way, took over for Carl Semesco. Remember, he took the Atlanta Dream job just 2 games into the season, so he moves on. Lyles, of course, in a lot of ways, maybe the obvious successor for Semesco, one of his former players. She's a 30-1 to start her head coaching tenure. And so those 2 battle when we are done here. It is a significant Iowa advantage. They have opened up the second half, Kim, on a 20-4 run with Murray State's superstar, Caitlin Young, in the locker room. We have not seen her reemerge after going back to the locker room on crutches.
Yeah, Iowa really got things going in transition. They have just pushed the ball up. Ooh, a ball to the face there.
Look out.
Falter. But they've already put up 20 points here, a little more than midway through the third quarter.
Jan Jensen's team, 22 wins in that revamped Big Ten. Kim, they finish in the top half. A surge down the final stretch of the season. Last month and a half, great wins against Juju Watkins and the Trojans. That 3 is offline.
Yeah,
they won
Iowa
at Michigan. Michigan State in the tournament got better as the year unfolded.
Yeah, they were the only team to beat USC in Big Ten regular season play. They finished winning 8 of their last 10. They lost single-digit, like 1-point games to Ohio State twice. Yeah. The second time coming to the Big Ten tournament, they lost to UCLA by 2. So it's a dangerous 6-seeded Iowa team, and they look really good here this afternoon.
They are the strongest 6 seed in the field, if you want to look at just how the field was seeded. Oh, little hesitation that time. Stremolo into double figures, and it is a new season high for the freshman. She's got 10. So doing it on the big stage. Hallie Polk puts it in at the rim. So Polk is going to have to put in a miraculous effort here, you would think, in the second half. She is Murray State's second leading scorer. There's a foul on the way in. It is still a big hole, to say the least. The Racers are in here. 3 minutes to go in the third.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Racers team that does have 4 double-digit scorers, 4 that average almost 14 a game. Ava Learn, some emotions there, some tough foul calls without her counterpart Young in there to help shoulder the load of defending the Iowa Post players.
She just fouled out. Oh. And the senior from Pleasant Valley, New York, she is a big reason why Murray State broke through this year. Second ever trip to the tournament. You know, this has been an emotional roller coaster, you would think, this third quarter for the Racers. It was a relatively tight game at the half. It was a 5-point game with just a couple of minutes left in that second quarter, and then your star goes down. And we wondered what sort of emotional impact that has. We always ask that question for any team. And Murray State has just not been able to recover and get back off the mat. But Ava Learn, brilliant season as she fouls out. Transition jumper, Guyton left that one short. And Iowa takes it here after the mishandle. A 22-6 start for Iowa in this third quarter. And it is firmly in control. The winner advances to face Oklahoma or Florida Gulf Coast. Pena takes that one away. This is Pena now with her eyes up. Shovel it back to Ford. Offline.
And that's how Murray State is going to have to play defensively right now, because both of their post players out of the game. They were able to be scrappy there, take the ball away from Hayden, but let's see now if they can capitalize on this end.
This is Pena trying to break through. Polk wants the three offline. And Murray State just 1 out of 12 from the floor in this third. Hayden blocked. Trinity White gets back to smack it away.
And it's been a very atypical three-point shooting night. A falter adds on another 2 for Iowa. But Hallie Polk, I was watching her film from the NBC tournament. I mean, she hit 6 threes in the championship game. She's 0 of 6 today, so they just have not really been able to get that three-point game going, which they're one of the best in the country at. And Iowa, I mean, how many times now have we seen Sydney Falter on the little give and go action? Murray State just a step slow. You have to jump to the ball, jump back and stay in front of Falter, make her cut behind you. There's just been a lot of easy buckets for Iowa here in the third quarter.
Look at that eye-popping number. That's 18 assists. So they're basically right at their average with another quarter to play. And Iowa, it already had one of the higher assist rates in the nation. Top 15 in the country. So that ball movement, that player movement, like right here on this sequence, it is critical to the success this year. Stolke back at the line.
Yeah, right now Jan Jensen going with both Stolke and Hayden in the game. We haven't seen that combo too frequently this season, but both of them having really strong games. Stolke had to miss the majority of the first half, but she's come out shot out of a cannon here in the third quarter.
Stolke very familiar with what it takes to make that March run. Two-year starter. One of the very reliable, prominent players on Iowa's back-to-back trips to the NCAA championship game. Hayden with another basket. And they are just pouring it on now in this third. Polk with the scoop.
Yeah, she gets one to go. Like I said, we haven't seen what she's truly capable of, but she's a really talented young player in the MVC. Second team all-conference, averaging 17 a game as just a sophomore.
This Murray State program, make no mistake, it is in a very healthy position right now. McCabe with the latest three. You know, they were building towards this moment. Murray State was. They won 20 games a year ago. Young comes back. They break through the 25 wins, a school record. You know, Rochelle Turner and this staff, they have elevated this program back to the top of the MVC with 4 seconds left here in the third. Polk hits the turnaround. There's the offensive skill. And then a heave that takes us to the end of the third. Iowa scores 30 in the third quarter. Outscored Murray State 30-8. Got a huge lead. Yeah, El, we were talking about it before. This regional, it is strong. You've got USC, UConn, Kansas State, Kentucky. By the way, they've also moved on. We will see the 3 seed here in this regional, Oklahoma, when this one finishes up. With Kim Adams, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. Start of the fourth in a now one-sided Iowa lead over the 11 seed Murray State. A lot went on there in that third quarter. The Hawkeyes scored 30, outscored the MVC champs by 20, and their 12-point halftime lead exploded to a 30-plus point margin. Stolke now into double figures with 11. And the really difficult news for Murray State, Kim, was what we would expect to be the loss of their superstar player, Caitlin Young, who went down with a left foot injury. We saw the athletic training staff working on the left foot, and she has been out since the early minutes of the third. She is back on the bench, though, after walking down the tunnel maybe midway through that quarter on crutches. Just a giant blow.
Yeah, I mean, just so sad. A legend of the program, a legend in mid-major basketball, top 15 all-time in Division I scoring. And you just hate to see the tears in her eyes right now.
Olsen misses that one at the rim. And boy, Nifty layup by Jada Cook. Her first basket. The MVC champs. And they were the undisputed champs in their third season in the Missouri Valley. They won the regular season title and then 3 in a row in Evansville just a few days ago to punch their ticket. This is Hallie Polk, missed the lefty, or rather Pena, excuse me, missed the lefty scoop at the rim. And this was a tight game deep into the second quarter. So 5-point deficit with just a couple of minutes left in that second quarter. Iowa went on a little bit of a run, stretched it to a 12-point cushion. And without Young, Iowa has taken a sizable lead. This was the play early in the third quarter. She put that right-hand scoop shot up, came down awkwardly. The athletic training staff had to help her back to the bench. You see her here. She was putting some weight on it, trying to jog it off. And with her parents in the background, Connie and Dave, they drive to every game from Oakwood, Illinois. You were there to just support her as she walked down the tunnel.
You could tell she was doing everything in her power to try to summon up something to get back out there. You know it has to be bad if a player who this game means so much to, it has to sit on the sidelines and watch.
With her team in that really significant hole here early in the fourth. If her career is going to play on, they need the massive comeback. Iowa is very much in control. It has felt like the Hawkeyes have been in control even from the jump. Olsen offline. Even when it was tight in the first and second quarters. Feuerbach rattles in the three.
The offense has just been exquisite today for Iowa. They have 22 assists now. That's the 7th three. They've gotten balanced scoring inside and out. The post players really dominated early in this game. Ava Hayden with big minutes.
Trinity White is the racer and is down on the floor. Another senior. Athletic training staff tending to Trinity White right now. The senior has been such a critical player to the success this year. And so that'll take us to a timeout with just about 7 to play in this fourth quarter. Iowa's got the big lead. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Let's take a look at today's Capital One rewarding performance. We told you about the senior from Collegeville, Pennsylvania, Lucy Olsen. She has been the engine for Iowa, especially today.
Yeah, Lucy Olsen scored 12 points in the first half. She hasn't had to score in the second half because she's been doing most of her work on assists. She's been the dime queen, a career high 12 assists. Her teammates have been running the lanes, getting to the rim. A unanimous All Big Ten first team member in her first year as an Iowa Hawkeye. Remember, she was the 3rd leading scorer in the country last year at Villanova, putting up about 23 points per game. She has really found a rhythm here across the last couple of months. A big reason why Iowa's a dangerous team in this tournament.
They have been this program that has been at the mountaintop of the sport, as we all know, for several years. Back-to-back championship game appearances, and then the school record 34 wins last year. Gone is Caitlin Clark. We all know that. Gone is Kate Martin to the next level. McCabe, by the way, with another triple. That is her 2nd today. And so you're Jan Jensen, who takes the job after Lisa Bluter retired in May. She and the staff, they put together not just a great freshman class, but they had to go find the production. How do you replace what those two players did in years past? And Olsen was a significant get in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, she's showing why she was brought in today, not just a scorer, but as a creator as well, to lead the offense, to get her teammates involved. And that has really been on display today as Iowa has 24 assists. Lots of different players getting involved in the scoring. Every player who's stepped on the floor has scored today. That was Addie O'Grady's first bucket, so we can now check that off the list. Everyone scored.
Check them off, yep. Just, you used the word before, I'll underscore it. Exquisite offense. I like that one. They're 65% shooting from the field in the second half, where they have really just blown this open. And it was very quick after the Young injury early in the third. Remember, they got off to a 20-4 start in that third quarter. And some great ball movement that time. O'Grady could not finish. 3 in the air. That one rattles through. And so the first triple of the afternoon for Braxton Baker, the freshman from Michigan. A very reliable three-point shooter for their first bucket in this tournament.
And Kevin, that possession there was Murray State basketball. Getting into the paint, kicking out for threes. Unfortunately, they didn't get the offense going like they typically do, as Hannah Stolke, Taylor McCabe, they check out of the game. Big applause from the Iowa fans who always travel so well.
Number 22 might not be on the roster anymore. Still a whole lot of 22s, by the way, on the backs of the shirts, sweatshirts in the crowd. There's O'Grady. Jan Jensen has been very candid about that this year as it pertains to the expectation, the heightened expectation, and the raised bar. There's Pena, drills the triple for not just the last couple of iterations of Iowa basketball, but specifically this team with Clark and then Martin, of course, moving on. You know, in a lot of ways, that expectation doesn't perhaps change. You have a fan base that is so passionate and hungry, and they want similar production, similar win totals. They go 22-10. They were in every single one of those losses, by the way. And Jensen has been very candid about this being a successful year, given the production lost. And again, given the raised expectation level on the shoulders of these players.
Yeah, we have to mention Gabby Marshall as a huge piece that moved on as well. But when we talked to Jan Jensen yesterday, a nice N1 from Polk, Jan said she felt at the beginning of the season, she felt her veteran players felt a lot of that pressure of needing to keep the bar high, the expectations, and it showed in their play. She felt they were tight, and now she feels like over the last couple months, her veterans have really settled in. We're seeing it in a Falter, in Stolke, in the new addition, Lucy Olsen, and everything is clicking today for the Hawkeyes here in Norman.
These freshmen have grown up as well. You know, they're going to play 3 freshmen off the bench, and all of them have been impactful and productive today. It's a double dribble. Ball back to Murray State.
Yeah, I think the elevation of Ava Hayden over the last couple of games, this is a huge piece for them as they look to move deeper into this tournament, because she gives them a little bit of a different look than Stolke. She gives them a little bit more size at 6'4". You look ahead to that 314. I mean, Reagan Beers for Oklahoma is a 6'4" bruiser inside. So Hayden gives them a really nice look in the post off the bench.
And that matchup would be quite unique if we get the battle between the 2 higher seeded teams here in Norman. So a reminder, that game you mentioned, it is coming up about 30 minutes after we're done here, or 2:30, whichever one comes sooner. Remember, here on ESPN, coming up after we're done here, the 2nd seeded NC State Wolfpack. They're taking on Vermont. We will send you to that one when we are done here. Step back, long 2. That's offline. And Jada Jimfy, who, by the way, is celebrating a birthday this weekend. Oh. Getting some run here.
There was another birthday. Wasn't it someone else's birthday yesterday?
Yeah, Iowa's got several player and team personnel birthdays this weekend. So there could be a lot of celebrating going on. 3 in the air. That one is pure. Braxton Baker with another. perhaps one of the players of the future for this Murray State team.
Yeah, they have a lot of young talent, a lot of sophomores.
Another bucket for A.J. Ediger. Well, one more on this Iowa team. Kim, we said it earlier, they're the strongest just based on seeding. 6th seed in the field. Is this a team that could reach the second weekend of this tournament in your eyes?
I think so. I mean, if I'm watching this team today, the way they score inside and out, the way they pass the ball, the scorer that Olsen can be, this isn't a team that I look forward to playing in the NCAA tournament. You know you're going to have to bring it defensively and defend 5 players on the floor.
Jim Fee offline on the 3. Levin getting some time. Right back to Jim Fee. So Iowa with 88 and counting in what turned into a lopsided affair early in the 3rd quarter after Murray State's stud Caitlin Young left the game with that left foot injury. We have not seen her since, even though she has been on the bench.
Jan Jensen has gotten production from everybody on the floor. Callie Levine into Jada Jimfee. That is the 27th assist on the afternoon for Iowa on 39 made field goals.
Wow.
Everyone's sharing the love.
That is a season high now for Iowa in this first round battle against Murray State. Foul on the way in. And so free throws for the Racers. Grace Billington gets some time here late in the game. I think we're always going to be wondering what could have been, or a lot of folks on that Murray State side, they're going to wonder what could have been. Young goes out very early in the 3rd quarter. Again, she was the prolific superstar, not just at Murray State or in the MVC. One of the better mid-major players across the nation for several years. Went out early in the 3rd, Kim, and that is when Iowa went on that run.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough way to go out for Murray State. They really have run into one of the hottest teams in the tournament, and I hope they stay positive and confident. It doesn't take away from the amazing season they had under Rochelle Turner, who's really done a great job in her 8th season.
So 1:05 to play in Norman. Remember, Iowa will face the winner of Florida Gulf Coast or Oklahoma. That one will follow us at 2:30 Eastern. Murray State, the dream season in a lot of ways for this program. You saw Ava Learn there in the background, who fouled out earlier. Ford, Polk, White, Young, Learn, all those veterans guided Murray State to its 2nd ever NCAA tournament and a school record 25 wins. Rochelle Turner and the staff, as you pointed out, they have got the program in a very healthy position. And for Caitlin Young, this illustrious career is going to come to an end here. But Iowa, half a minute away from moving on. They are used to this. Their March runs reaching the title game each of the last 2 seasons. But without Clark, first March Madness run in a long time without Caitlin Clark. They are going to march on to the round of 32. And with a emphatic 92-57 victory, Jan Jensen says, let's just run it out here. Iowa is moving on once again in the NCAA tournament.
Just an incredible offensive performance today from the Iowa Hawkeyes. 92 points, 28 assists. They made 8 threes to go along with 62 points in the paint. And Kevin, we said it, this is a dangerous number 16. The Iowa Hawkeyes moving on to the 2nd rounds here. We will find time and network later tonight.
The Iowa fan base, they are used to these runs, and so for another season, that's now 6 straight women's championships, they win a game and advance. what lies ahead for Iowa. It'll face either Florida Gulf Coast or Oklahoma. That game coming up at 2:30 Eastern here in Norman. Hope you enjoyed it. We did. For Kim Adams and our entire crew, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald saying so long for now from Norman. Let's get you back to the studio. Here's Kelsey Riggs-Cuff.